What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Zero to Hero. In the last video was a little bit of a different format where we just sort of almost done a tutorial of what we go through when we join a new club. Of course, we've been at plenty of different clubs now on this save, so I thought why not do something a little bit different in the last episode. And in this episode today we'll be sort of catching up from where we left off and hopefully start in the league phase at the end of the video. Now, where I left you guys off in the last one was just, again, me going through the setup and what I'm doing, as my first steps in charge at Napoli. And I will say I have made some signings for the Napoli side already. First up, we have signed Leon. Of course, he has sort of followed us on our journey here on Zero to Hero, but he is yet to be a starting centre back for us. At Liverpool, of course, that's where we signed him to be rotation. At PSG, he was also a rotation centre back for us. So I thought it was only fitting for us to go ahead and buy him and make him a starting centre back for Napoli. I feel like this is the time in his career, and you can see statistically he has developed very nicely as I have been the one developing him for the past 3 years. So yeah, Leon, the no better signing really than the man that has followed us on our journey. Up next, we have also signed. Where is he? Mr. Hector Fort. Again, someone that we did have when we were at Liverpool. However, he didn't follow us to PSG this time, but I thought in this new system, I wanted someone to almost be partners in crime with Mr. Gutierrez, and I thought who better than Hector Fort. Now, this is a little bit of a not exactly a like for like, should we say, purchase. I don't think that we have not coached him to play this role before, so maybe he's going to take a little bit of time to adapt. But of course, when we did use him, again, he was a backup for a while for us at Liverpool, but when we did use him, he was absolutely phenomenal. So I have no doubt that he can slot into our side here and prove to be a quality player for us. Now, we are trying to make some more signings, and essentially what I'm doing is signing players to improve the first team now, and hence the first team players that are in there right now will then be used as backup. With that being said, I have my notepad here on, you know, where we need to improve essentially. And yeah, having a look at it, I think obviously goalkeeper, we don't have one at the moment, is like the next step. But I also want to have my own touch on the team, like bring in players that really you can say, oh, this is a Flynn team. Obviously we've done that with Jakovic and Fort. They're my signings, they're my players. But I feel like the attack is good, so I might try and have some a bit of influence in this midfield. Perhaps one of these can rotate out for one of my players. That being said, Moretti is wanted by a few players, so perhaps we can offload Moretti in order to bring in a bit more of a Flynn player. So, of course, stay tuned to see how we get on in this episode, and hopefully we can make some more signings. I did also forget to mention that a big reason as to why we got to sign them two players is because we did sell Shimas, I think it was, the Brighton striker, and we have sold our goalkeeper to Chelsea. Again, no point in me holding them here if they don't want to stay here. I will say I did sort of show that in the back end of the last video. But yeah, now we are trying to essentially sign players that are a bit more me players. I have put offers out for players, hopefully, that are going to come through now, and you guys are going to see some of the players that we are trying to sign. I have put bids in for Asan Udraogo. I don't know if that's how you say his name. Someone that we did sign at Liverpool, but doesn't look like he has been given the opportunity to play there. Also, I have put a bid in for Urbig. However, I'm I don't think I'm gonna get big because 65 million is too much actually. Yeah, sorry, I don't know why I did actually put that bid in. To be honest, 65 mil was a bit too over our budget, but here we are. Here is someone that we might potentially sign. I'm still yet to decide if I'm going to get him. I'm going to delay the transfer, but Lewis Miley is potentially someone we can bring in for £33 million, which is quite expensive, but I love Lewis Miley. So it's sort of like, and he's a me player, you know. Oh, you know what? We're just gonna go for it. It's quite expensive, but he's a Flynn signing. You know what I mean? He's Lewis Miley, one of my favourite players in real life, and it would feel weird to have gone this whole time on this save and not have Lewis Miley in my team. You know what I mean? At some point. So yeah, Lewis Miley comes in there. I'm very happy to get him on board, and he's going to go straight into the first team. Now, I do want to sign a couple of midfielders, like I did say in the previous clip, so that does mean we're going to have to start to try and move on some of these players, but yeah, as things stand, this is what we're looking like. We still need that goalkeeper and others to sign. There it is then. Our goalkeeper has made his way into... Ooh, loaner. That is interesting, actually. We can actually loan him. Because we have just signed our goalkeeper for the season, or for now, is going to be James Trafford, and that does mean that the backup goalkeeper can go out on loan, no problems. So James Trafford is the next sign in here at Napoli. We're doing an overhaul here. We bring in some more English talent, and yeah, I'm happy with them two signings, Trafford and Mr. Lewis Miley. Now, I don't think yeah, we might need to be careful actually because we do need to be careful with these non EU player slots because I don't actually know how many you're. I probably should have checked that, shouldn't I? How many you're actually allowed in the league. So perhaps we've made a slight mistake there. Hopefully we didn't. But yeah, squad registration. Let's have a look. I think we're okay for now. I think we're okay. I'm sure we'll find out soon. Another sign-in through the door is David Affengruber, who is going to be a bit of a squad player for us, essentially. And yeah, I think he's not going to be like an insane. Or saying that, he doesn't. He looks like he'd do a good job, to be honest, and extremely cheap. We managed to pick him up for about 2 million, so that seemed like a no-brainer to me. We make another young English, well, used to be young, English midfielder sign in. It is Archie Gray this time. Only 11 million, so a lot, or considerably cheaper than, of course, Mr. Miley. And I was going to get Gravenberch, but yeah, I think this midfield is a slightly better with Archie Gray and Lewis Miley partnering up together in that midfield. Now, I do think that yeah, I do think that there's the only problem we have now is that we have a bit of trouble trying to get rid of some players because as you can see here, we did offer for Asan, who I'd love to bring in a player like Asan as well, but the problem is we have too many midfielders at that point. We need to get rid of some of these. However, it doesn't actually look like we're not getting actually any interest from other players, and we have used yeah, we have used so many of these slots, these non-EU ones. So perhaps we'll have to look to sell some other players, or yeah, I think we won't be signing any more players this window. That's for sure. Maybe we'll look to sell some players. But yeah, also just so you guys know, I have basically signed nearly all of the staff in all of the different at all the levels, of course. Yeah, a couple more that we need to fill, but essentially got most of it sorted. Okay, so slight error from me. Archie Gray cannot be registered this season, so I am going to let him go out on loan to try and help him still develop, despite not playing for us. I'm happy for him to be a regular starter, so we'll reject Crystal Palace. Um, Squad players are going to get rejected as well. Ajax, and we'll get rid of him there. Regular, regular, regular for all of these. So yeah, that will definitely be a good one. Strasbourg will definitely be a good one. And then Middlesbrough and Leicester depends if they're in the Prem. So Middlesbrough are in the Premier League. Leicester are in the Premier League as well. So I'm happy for him to go on loan to any of them clubs that he would like to go to. And then, yeah, in terms of our squad or where we're at, essentially what you're seeing on screen now is our second team. Obviously, not the best, especially defensively, but a couple of youngsters in there who are good to develop. Now, the reason I made my mistake is because I thought we have a player here, not Mustafa, sorry, wrong one. We have a player, where is he? I'm not going to be able to find them now. I can't find him, but pretty much we had a backup player that was using a non-EU slot, and I assumed I could just unregister him and play Archie Gray, but for some reason it doesn't work like that, so that's fine. So next season we'll have him hopefully, assuming it'll probably, I'm guessing it's gonna take, I'm guessing it's gonna take us a few seasons to uh, well, a season or two to be beating Juventus and Inter Milan. They're the two teams that are ahead of us right now. Ooh, Bovin. Okay, I would be open to selling Bovin. If he was, if they did put in an offer for him, I'd be open to selling him. Let him go. Of course, Bovin is in our seconds side, but we do have someone that would go. If Boving was to leave, we can put in someone called Raphael wherever he is. Here we go, Raphael. So he would go in like that. Obviously not the best, but again, some of these guys that are low in stars are like youngsters who don't actually look that bad. So yeah, that being said, we do need to go through and register everyone. So, yeah, that's just a little update from me ahead of us just about to start off our season in the Serie A. Okay, so some big drama, a big update. Turns out I am an absolute noob when it comes to Syria registration. I just had a bit of a nightmare trying to register, sorry, all of my players, and I think I've managed to pretty much get it to a situation where I've registered nearly everybody that I wanted to register, except there's a few names missing out, and yeah, you can see on screen. Our first team is essentially all registered, which is fine. However, our second team is extremely woeful, and I'll show you guys the players that are missing out, and of course the ones that are angry with me for not being able to register them, and I'm going to try and sell them or get them loans. The main one being William Boving, I just can't register him, long story short, because he's a backup and long story short, just can't register him. Especially when we have backup that can be registered easily. Also, this guy, I really wanted to use him as well because he's a bit of a youngster, well, 22, but again, can't manage to register him, and Abansky as well. Shame can't register him. Rodrigo Gomez. So yeah, there's a few big ones that we were unable to register, um, which now means we either need to sell them or find a loan move. And essentially, it was just due to, of course, needing homegrown players and things like that. So, yeah, essentially now we have, obviously, as you can see, a pretty strong first team. Our second team is lacking though, but we have completed, more or less completed the transfer window in terms of like players bought in, and now we can sell a few players as well, and well, before that, we still have 6 million in the bank. So we're in a good spot financially, at least. Like I said, the squad registration stuff is something new, something a bit different in this league to perhaps what I'm used to. So it's all a learning curve, but yeah, I'm excited to get the season underway and try and catch up to Juventus and Inter Milan. Up first, we've got Torino. We are at home, and yeah, wish us luck. Here we go then, our first ever match in this Serie A. A completely new system for us to tackle. Let's see, yeah, the strengths, the positives, the negatives, of course. Like I said, this is a new system for us, so no doubt, it will be a learning curve. We're going to definitely lose some games here or there, and yeah, I mean, it'll be a bit of a shock to the system going from an unbeaten an unbeaten season with PSG to go into this, where we're definitely going to struggle a bit more. I can tell that purely based on the squad, but I'm excited. I'm happy. I'm ready for the new challenge, and it's a bit boring when it's too easy, right? Mustafa scores, but perhaps offside. I think it was offside, actually, to be fair. But that would have been a good way to start. Yep. Buongiorno. Nice. Oh, close. Oh my god, we literally scored our first goal. And I wasn't even looking because I was too busy changing tactics. Let's have a look then. Miley, Mustafa, Alec. Oh my god, what was that? So many headers. And Aluji with a great finish, to be fair. I think he's a really good regen, by the way. I don't know where he's from, but I think he's like one of the best players for his nation. We'll have to look into that. But we score 1-0. 1-0, 1-0. Love to see it. Oh no. Haj Musa. Ooh, dispossessed. Go on, Allison. Mustafa! 2-0. Lewis Miley. Allison. Miley. Oof. Tell you what, a wicked start. Mustafa. Allison. Alugi. I don't know how you say his name. Maybe it's Alugi. I'm not sure. Martin. Alugi. Oh, we're going to have to start learning his name because he is firing. Alugi? Alagui? I'm terrible at pronouncing names. Lasad Alagui. Alugi? Do you know what? It's probably not Alugi, but I'll just like saying it. Just rolls off the tongue easier. So I'm just going to call him Alugi. Come on, tackle. Should be putting in a foot there. Oh my god, how's he missed? How has he missed that? Shoot. Oh my god. Unfortunate. But looks like we should be able to see off the match against Torino here. 3-0 up. And yeah, looking good. I've been making notes on my little notepad on the side to make sure we do, fully optimize our time here at Napoli. But we start off with a pretty much a flawless victory, 3-0. Can't ask for much better than that, especially at home, as you would expect us to beat Torino at home. However, our next match is against Roma, which is definitely going to be a bit more of a challenge, and you guys are going to have to, of course, come back next time to see how we get on there. But we start our Serie A campaign We have, you know, a little bit of registration issues, shall we say, but we'll get there eventually. No doubt it will become a bit of a challenge when it comes to the Champions League, though, as our second team is a lot weaker than our first. But we start off with a victory. I hope you guys have enjoyed the video here today. If you have, then please do remember to like, subscribe if you're new, and we'll catch you guys in a future video. Peace.